10 years ago, I had a dream, and my life's been different ever since. In my dream, I was late to a meeting. It was like, oh my gosh, there are people waiting for me. It was almost as though I had lived to go to this meeting. And there were people my age who were waiting for me. And it was so real. I could see this sign, Senior Advocates for Generational Equity. The concept of SAGE, that was something that had never, ever been in my mind. I never have dreams like that. And I shared with my wife, Diane, the very real dream. And she said, I just read a proverb. A society grows great when its elders plant trees whose shade they know they shall never sit in. Anyway, that was how SAGE was born, and it's been a lovely experience for me ever since.
So SAGE's mission is to inspire people over 50 to give forward with their time, their money, and their voice so that younger and future generations can thrive. SAGE stands for Senior Advocates for Generational Equity. And whenever I share that with people, I think, wow, that sounds great. What's that mean? We stand for this principle of generational equity, which is a spirit that each generation leaves the world better off than they find it.
So generational equity, it just means that all people, regardless of their age, are valued for one, and also have opportunities to exercise their voice and to show that value and demonstrate that value to their peers, to other community members, and to feel trusted.
And I think in our kind of current culture, we've lost some of the intergenerational connections that used to be very much just a part of everyday life. And so it's really important to kind of create space for that.
One of the things that when somebody asks me about what does SAGE actually do on a daily basis, we inspire people to give forward for the benefit of younger and future generations. And we focus on the 3 E's of education, the environment, and economic opportunity, because we view those as fundamental building blocks for a greater society. How do we do that on a daily basis? We do that through leadership development, through workshops, through fellowships. All collectively are intended to help people find what they're passionate about, to learn their options, and to amplify their impact. We have what we call the Visiting SAGE Speaker Series. And it's basically where we bring in a great speaker who can elevate a core challenge facing the future. And there's our Legacy Fellowship. Along the way, we meet people who are entrepreneurial in nature. They have a dream. They want to make a deep contribution to community. So we created a 6-month program that includes training support to our Legacy Fellows to lead their dream projects. And these projects run the gamut from building a community garden to leading long-term initiatives that educate students about the climate crisis.
The future needs all the advocates it can get. And that's really what we're talking about. We're talking about encouraging people to become advocates for the future. Every minute, another 10,000 people become seniors. Our generation has continued to blossom. Now, SAGE recognizes that the people in this 3rd stage of life are an asset. I mean, we have enormous opportunities to give with our time, our money, and our voices to actually make a change.
I think there's a lot of big problems in the world that we're facing right now, and there's a lot to be gained from kind of creating opportunities to learn from one another and learn with one another.
We're reminded of how important it is to connect with older generations, with younger generations, and to exchange ideas, exchange experiences and feelings so that we're all happier and healthier and more capable of going out into the world and doing good.
When we put on an event, at the end of that event, you'll see 3 words, pass it on. And what that means is that we know we only reach maybe 1,000 people a year in this community, and there's 7 billion people on the planet. And everybody has that seed of inspiration in them. And so what I love about the work and where I feel most proud is not directly when we've inspired somebody, but when we've inspired them to inspire somebody else. There's a magnifier effect there. And that's how we're going to create and move mountains.